If you're like me, you take your time off very seriously. You know what you need to do to refresh and recharge to get back into the classroom ready for the next round. For my wife and I, that means travel. Whenever we can get out of town, we do. And of all the places we've ever been to, Ireland has to be one of our favorites. If you too would like to see the Emerald Isle, and I mean really see it, you have to go with someone from Ireland. That's why I recommend Celtic Seasons for your Irish adventure. You will fall in love with this country. The green of the landscape is amazing and so much more green than you could ever imagine. That will make sense once you get there, I promise. The people you meet will be welcoming and kind, and that's not for show, they're really just that nice. The views will literally take your breath away. This was especially true for me at the Cliffs of Moher. On top of that, there are castles, abbeys, quaint villages, and cities founded by Vikings. Your guides on this magical adventure will be my friends Deirdre and Jenny. Yes, they are from Ireland, and they'll take you to all the great places you think of when you think of Ireland, from Blarney Castle to the Giant's Causeway. But they will also introduce you to the Ireland that you don't know yet, but will still fall in love with just the same. To book your tour, use my special link at celtic-seasons.com/tours/lessons. Or if you want to bring a little bit of Ireland to you, check out celtic-seasons.com to shop their store. Now, on with the show. This episode contains a few concepts from Buddhism. While I am not a practicing Buddhist, I do love learning about spiritual traditions from all over the world, and I immediately thought about teaching when I heard this one. This is Lessons We Forgot, and I call this episode The Second Arrow. The school year can sometimes feel like a battle we're struggling to win. We face many challenges, we will have some wins and some losses along the way, but by the end of the school year, hopefully we all feel victorious in one way or another. That doesn't mean we won't have a few wounds in the process, though. While he was still alive, the Buddha taught the concept of the two arrows. He said that the first arrows are what we're going to encounter in our day-to-day lives, and this is especially true while we're here at school. The first arrows can come out of nowhere, and we don't really have any control over them. They include things like fear, anger, and sadness. Unfortunately, most of us are all too familiar with those arrows, and those arrows can do a great deal of damage to us, even if we are on high alert for them. And even if we put on all of our armor against them, the first arrows can still get through our defenses and cause us harm. The second arrows are much more deceptive, though, and they are much harder to defend against. Second arrows often include things like doubt, shame, and apathy. These arrows can be way more painful, and the wounds they inflict last much longer. Why are these arrows so much harder for us to deflect? Why do they cause so much more damage? It's because they aren't being shot by someone else. We are the ones who shoot the second arrows. Even on our best days, we are susceptible to a stray first arrow from time to time. We can't control that, and we can be wounded by them. But no one else can hit us with the second arrows. Those arrows come from really close range, and they're headed straight for our hearts. So how do we defend ourselves from such a deadly weapon? The Buddha has an answer for that too. He taught in life we cannot always control the first arrow. However, the second arrow is our reaction to the first. The second arrow is optional. In other words, we control them. We know that being judgmental of what we've already done and blaming ourselves can often cause more damage than whatever the initial shot was. We inflict ourselves with so much unnecessary pain, long after our wounds could have been healed. We've had the pleasure of hearing Dr. Shiraki Hali in my district over the past few years. He's been helping us become more culturally responsive teachers, and he keeps telling us it's not our first thoughts, it's our last thoughts that matter most. This could not be more true for the second arrows. So the next time you react poorly, you let your guard down in the wrong situation, or when you make an obvious mistake in front of your students, make sure to keep all of your second arrows in your quiver and avoid any self-inflicted wounds. Wounds from the first arrows will heal, but they will heal much more quickly if we don't continue opening them back up again with our second arrows. Thank you for listening to this episode of Lessons We Forgot. I'm the host, Chris Winkle. You can contact me at lessonsweforgot@gmail.com, and please do. I'd love to hear what you think about the show and any suggestions you might have. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. That is the best way to help grow the podcast. If you want to hear more lessons we forgot, we post new episodes on Sunday nights. And when you like, rate, and subscribe to the show or leave a comment, that also helps the show reach new listeners. If you really hate ads like me, I do have a Patreon site, patreon.com/lessonsweforgot. For only $1 a month, you can get the show without ads. I'm offering a free trial right now, so go check it out and see if it's something you'd be interested in. Thanks again for your support.